have this power, but I don't know where it came from.
I've never seen anything like her.
You think you can find others?
She's just the beginning.
For me, I loved the fact that she was a superhuman before she was a superhero. That she has like real skills and sass and confidence and is very capable as a human being before she's able to like shoot stuff out of her hands. And I love that she's flawed. I love the fact that because she's a risk taker, you watch someone that also then falls in their face because they're swinging big. That feels very relatable to me. And I love that you see someone who doesn't always make the right judgment call. A lot of the time I think with like action heroes and superheroes, they're like always like perfect. They always do, they make the right call. And I think it's important to watch people make mistakes and then atone for those mistakes.
Truth be told, I was ready to hang it up till I met you today.
For me, in this particular film, in Captain Marvel, finding, a Nick Fury that's, sort of, I wouldn't call him naive, but a kind of gentler Nick Fury that's a, bureaucrat of sorts, pencil pusher, trying to find out what's going on in the world around him and encountering his first extraterrestrial. It's like, okay, so revelation, there's other things out here in the world, which, starts to inform his worldview in a different way.
It's definitely in the DNA of the film that we're going to explore some of the other, some of the world building for the MCU, and in some ways this is an origin story for, Nick Fury and the MCU in general.
Skrulls are the bad guys, and you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Noble warrior heroes.
When you first sat down with the directors, what did you want to emphasize most about your characters?
We talked a lot about the Kree mindset and the Kree ideology and kind of how we would explore that. I think, it's a very militaristic kind of mindset, quite a colonial kind of mindset of very much they believe that they are the superior kind of race. They need to be the ones going and rescuing or kind of taking control of things. And how that translates to on an individual level, it's very much about serving a greater cause. It's not about kind of individual wants, it's about serving this thing which can be exploited, potentially. And with Minerva, she very much subscribes to this ideology. She, she's determined, she's kind of like a perfect warrior in many ways, and that was what we were kind of going for.
My discussions were mostly about the relationship between Brie's character and my character, and from the get-go, not knowing always what way they were going to go with it story-wise or when they were going to reveal certain things story-wise. We were constantly talking about levels of humor or levels of intensity, levels of charm or levels of aggression, and we were playing with that right until they finished editing, actually, and then even when we were in the ADR sessions, because his relationship with her is key, and how she feels about him is key. So it was important not to signal too much too soon.
You've come a long way, but you're not as strong as you think. Control it.
I went back and looked up a lot about my character.
I did little.
And there's some really funny pictures.
Yeah, there are. And of Minerva as well.
Are there?
I think our interpretation of these characters is something, the comics are one thing, and then it's, our interpretation in this story. And at a certain point, you have to kind of be like, well, this is the script, this is the story we're telling, and you have to go
they're good in that way, because they go back as a team, I'm talking about Marvel, and they look at all the influences your characters had through the comic books.
Because it's not a fixed thing.
No, it's moved, it evolves. So. And then they do hand it to you and the team making the film, and it suddenly becomes yours as well.
I grew up reading Wonder Woman comics, so I always had it in my head, because, I know there's so many comics in that series, but at whatever random point I started, there was like a series where she was like fighting in Mount Olympus and then would like get that work done in time to go back to Earth to do a book signing. And there was something about that dynamic that really stuck with me my whole life of like, I want that. Like, I want to do that. I want to be up in the clouds, and I also want to be down on Earth. I feel like that's just still who I am.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Higher, further, faster, baby.
It was really important to me to represent single mothers in the way that I know and love them to be. They're definitely superheroes in my eyes. They do so much, they're underrepresented. And I just wanted to make her a true, honest representation of the full woman today. A woman that you see when you open your door in the morning, a true, honest, capable, talented, intelligent woman who doesn't need to adhere to any of society's rules or constructs. She is just unapologetically herself. And then I just wanted to make sure that she was bringing up her child in the right way, like having the balance of discipline and a maternal connection, but also like a friendship with Monica. She's very multifaceted, so I wanted to make sure that she's just honest in every way.
Try to keep up.
Both of you have done big movies before, but you've never done Marvel. Was there something about being on set that surprised you about doing this kind of movie?
Yeah, Secrecy,
the
right?
Secrecy. I've never had to wear a cloak before to get from the trailer to
Made
the
to be.
catering.
Cloaks all over.
Cloak and
Cloaks
dagger.
wherever you go.
Yeah.
And you're just aware that that you're entering into something that has huge amounts of curiosity around it, and prying eyes, and
Real hunger
spies,
for any
and
kind of
hunger for any
information, yeah.
morsel of information. So you have to be on your guard.
Yeah.
It just feels, it actually felt like we were on this journey. It felt real when we were all together. It felt like we were creating history. And I know we very literally are, because this is the first female director in the MCU, the first female-led movie, and it felt like we're creating a starting point for this conversation to continue, for then us to just not have the conversation again, because it's just going to be the norm. So I felt like I was a part of a shift in the world.
We need you.
Aren't you the cutest little thing?
Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's
What was it like working with Goose on set?
There were actually 4 cats. Reggie was the main cat that we worked with. He adjusted to us and was more people friendly than I think the others were. Always a good day when he was there. We had interesting times. They're all snack based. You give him the right snack at the right time and use the right tone of voice. He was a very accomplished, and fun cat to work with. He always hit his mark. He always looked at you, and he did what he was supposed to do. And he was friendly.
Most challenging scenes, I guess the fight sequences, just because it's like, you're doing a full work day, and then at the end of the day, it's like, and then you're going to do a dance number. It's like, it's a lot of things to remember and to hold together. But it was some of my favorite moments, too, is learning how to be physical in that way.
This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
For the soundtrack, I feel like they did really awesome with the soundtrack. I was listening to a lot of Riot Grrrl while we were making it. That was kind of like my pump-up music, in particular during the fight sequences. Listened to a lot of L7, Bikini Kill in particular.